Hello everybody, this is Mr. Walker here, coming to you with factoring part 3. So let's take a look at this. Alright, this one is different from our last two that we just did. This one is factoring what's called the difference of squares. So the degree must be 2. You must have 2 terms, so this has to be a binomial, and you must be able to take the square roots of A and C, and there must be a subtraction symbol in the middle. So whatever you have for these two terms here, they both need to be things that you could take the square root of. Now this method is fairly simple, so let's go through and look at the steps. All right, so first step for this, we're going to take the square root of the first term, and this is going to go in both parentheses of our answer. So let's set up our answer. We got 2 parentheses here, and we're going to fill them in as we go through everything today, okay? All right, so I'm going to drag this over. All right, so first thing it says, take the square root of the first term. Here's our first term here, x squared. So what is the square root of x squared? Now, we talked previously about how taking the square root of something and taking something to the second power, they're both the opposites of each other. So even though I don't know what x is, if I'm taking it to the second power and then I undo it, I'm only left with x. So that's our first step done. Now we have x here. What we're going to do is in each of these parentheses, we're going to pop an x right in there. So there's going to be an x here and an x here. All right, that's the first step. Second step, take the square root of the last term, and you're going to pop that into both sets of the parentheses. So our last term here is that minus 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the square roots of 4. Now, simple. Square root of 4 is 2. So now that we know this, what we're going to do, we're going to pop that into both of these also, okay? So let's go back over. Let's type up the rest of our stuff. So inside of one parentheses, we have x and 2. In the other parentheses, x and 2. Now our last step is the easiest part. We're going to make one of these parentheses addition and one of these subtraction, and then we're going to check our work. So one of these subtraction, one of these with a addition. Now, how do we go about checking this? Checking this is pretty simple. We're just going to go through and use the box method. So let's go through and set up that box. All right, so here's our box. So we're setting up. Well, we got 2 rows and 2 columns. That's for each of the terms. Up here we got x and negative 2. Over here we got x and a positive 2. Now we're going to do our multiplication. So x times x, and that's x squared. X times negative 2, negative 2x. Simple. They both run into each other here. That's what's there. Now x times 2 is 2x. And 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Now, from the simplification of this, I know that both positive 2x and negative 2x are alike. Now, when I combine these two, this is really 2x minus 2x. 2 minus 2 is 0, so 2x minus 2x is going to be 0 also. That's why in the beginning, we only had 2 terms here. That's because the middle term that we would normally get through this distribution ends up canceling each other out. So this right here, x squared and negative 4, that is our final answer that we see here. So we checked this out. This works out. We factored it. We followed the steps. Pretty simple, pretty easy if I say so myself. Now, our last method here involves us really just using the box method and doing this GCF thing again. So let's take a look at it. This last one is a little bit different, so don't feel daunted by anything. All right, let me zoom out. All right, this one is called factoring by grouping. Now, really what happens is we are going to undistribute everything that's happening in here. Now, this answer isn't going to be similar to what we had in the previous ones because what we had was like an x to the first in both parentheses and some other number. In this case here, it's not always just going to be x to the first. There's a lot of different things. So let's look. All right, first thing, set up all your terms in a box like the box method. Then we are going to factor the GCF for each row and each column. Then we are going to write the parentheses to check our work. And then we are going to multiply to check our work. Okay? Now, right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. One thing I want you to notice is that none of these terms are alike. So that means that unlike some of the other multiplication we have done, this does not have anything that necessarily simplified down. So we got 4n to the third plus 8n to the second minus 5n minus 10. Each of these things is going to have its own separate box in the box method. So we're going to put each of them in one of these. 4n to the third, we got 8n squared, negative 5n, and negative 10. Now, some things that are a little different. This one here that we're factoring has 4 terms. None of the terms are alike. I'm going to tell you ahead of time that none of these are simplified by you adding anything, okay? That's because when you notice how everything fits real simple in here, that's because at the end of it, none of these had a like term after the multiplication. Now, let's look. We got 2 rows, 2 columns. We're going to go through and factor our GCF out just like we did before. So let's look at this bottom row here. We got negative 5n and we got negative 10. Both negative 5 and negative 10 have that negative in common. And 5 and 10 are both divisible by 5. So this negative 5 is their 2 GCFs. Now, let's look at 8n squared and negative 10. Since this 10 does not have an n on it, that means that this number here won't have an n. Now, when I go through and check, I'm looking at what can I divide both of these two by? I can divide both of these by a 2. Now, if I check out this math, 2 times negative 5, that works out. That's cool. Now we need to figure out the GCFs between these 2 rows. Okay? Well, this row and this column. So let's look at 4n to the third and 8n squared. So we need to look at what divides into 4 and 8. Both of these can be divisible by 4 because they're both evens and they're both multiples of 4. Now, both of these have an n. Now you're looking for what is the amount of n's that they both have in common. If it helps, just go to the side, break up what n to the third and n squared both are. So n to the third, that's n, n, and n. N to the second power, that's n and n. Now if you're looking to see what they both have in common, they both got these 2 n's. So that means that this will be a 4n to the second power, 4n squared. Now over here, I look at 4n to the third and negative 5n. Now both of these aren't divisible by anything other than 1 for 4 and negative 5. So we know that part is there, that 1. And since this is n to the third and this is just n by itself, the only amount of n's they both have in common is just n. Now that we got all this, let's just check our work to see if everything multiplies out to what we need. All right, 4n squared times 1n gives us this 4n to the third. That checks out. Now, 1n times negative 5 gives us negative 5n. 4n squared times 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and that n squared comes through, and there we got it. And we said earlier that this times this does give us negative 10. So that means that we have all of our factors here. Now, when we're writing up our work, we got to put them both into parentheses. For this, I've told you before, when you write out your parentheses, whatever's on one side stays together, whatever's on the other stays together. Do not get in the habit of switching around the order of these things. So, in one parenthesis, you should have 4n squared minus 5. In your other parenthesis, you have your 1n plus 2. And this right here, this is my final answer. And there we go. All right, people, that's the end of all your factoring notes. Later on, you will be having practice problems. So I'll catch you in a few.